Man came to the rabbi and he said, Rabbi, I don't need the synagogue. I'll just do Jewish at home. The rabbi didn't respond to him, but instead the rabbi took him to his fireplace. The rabbi took a piece of coal out of the fireplace, put it by the side, and the coal, it turned cold and it dimmed. And the rabbi said, see that piece of coal? That's what happens when we separate from our community. 'Tis the season. For us, school starts on Monday. For many of you, it already started. Thank God. But 'tis the season. Synagogue, and actually, Merzad and I were on the same page as I read your beautiful message in the Pew Bulletin. Membership. People actually choose to be part of a community, a synagogue. And the question that we hear is it worth it? Is it really worth it to be part of a synagogue? As the man told the rabbi, we can do Jewish at home, but the rabbi was wrong, or the man was wrong to the rabbi, because you know what? Today you can do Jewish on YouTube. You can do Jewish on Spotify. You can even do Jewish by watching your friend's Facebook or Instagram posts about the rabbi's sermon on Tuesday or Wednesday after Shabbat. But really, to be a member of a synagogue, is that worth it? You know what? I'll have somebody else be a member of the synagogue, and when I need it, I'll come. In other words, which coal are we going to be? Should we be the coal that we say we're going to take out of the fire? Or should we be the coal that we put into that fire and warms each other's souls? Will we take moments to create a sacred space in our lives? We heard when we blessed a new month, Cantor Feldman chanted the haunting melody of Kol Nidre and the melodies of High Holy Days. And in fact, when the new month begins tomorrow and Monday, we'll beginning sounding the shofar for the entire month of Elul. And when we hear that shofar, I want us to change the question that we ask every year. Not will I be part of a synagogue, but will I be part of a family? Will I be part of a family? For the last 682 days since October 7th, 2023, there has been a surge as what we all now call October 8th Jews. We needed each other. We needed a physical place to feel secure. We needed a spiritual place to feel resilient. We needed walls to literally see these pictures to keep their names alive. And over these days, and it went from the tens to now the hundreds, and pretty soon the 1,000 days, we recognize that we came here because of need, but we're staying because of desire. All of us, including myself, we came here for need. We needed to name our children. We needed to give them a Jewish education. We need to have a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah. We need to have a rabbi under a chuppah. And God forbid, we need pastoral help when our loved ones pass. Yet for some reason, days after simchas and years after someone passes, when the need is no longer there, what do we say? We'll come back when we need it. It's great what you do, but we'll come back when we need it. I'll be back soon. But what if we changed our mindset this morning and we translated need into desire? Let's stop asking if we need our synagogue, but instead ask, what would I do without my family? And so a lesson from our parsha this morning, and usually I try not to say what the bar mitzvah says, but Jacob, you chose the verse that I chose to speak about, so you win. If I asked everybody here, what's the holiest city for Jews, you'll say, you got it, Yerushalayim. But over and over in the parsha this morning, we speak about Jerusalem, but it doesn't say the word Jerusalem. Instead, it says, Bamakom asher yivchar Adonai. You should go to the place that God will choose. It seems that God chooses the place of holiness for us, and that's Jerusalem. But we often forget about the next part of one of those verses that says, L'shichno tidrashu levata shama. That we should go out and seek that place of holiness. And so the rabbis say, how can it be both? How can God go choose the place of holiness, but then the Torah tells us to choose? Which place is it and how do we do it? And so a couple of rabbinic interpretations to begin thinking about this. First, the 13th century Chizkuni says, you know what? God actually dwells in different places at different times, so it's vague, and so we go find those places. And a couple of hundred years later, in the 15th century, Abarbanel teaches that you might think that when we entered the land of Israel, then the holiness everywhere else went away, and we focus our energy on Israel, which we do, of course, but we know we're still here in Los Angeles. And so there's holiness to be found by each one of us. We know it's not easy to be a diaspora Jew today. We choose. We choose to wear a kippah here, and we choose sometimes to wear it outside. We choose to wear a Magen David here, and sometimes we choose to wear it in our offices. And so we must remember this morning that yes, B'makom asher yivchar Adonai, that God chose a place of holiness, but Judaism is not revealed by itself. We find it when we search for it. We find it when we create it. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into a house of mourning and I see two people that I wouldn't expect to be in that same community. And I ask them, well, how do you know that person? And they say, well, actually 20 years ago we entered this community and I met this person in this spot. And even though our children are grown and they're away, this is our home, this is our family. This past year, Rabbi Guzak and I officiated a wedding together. And we asked, as we always do, to the bride and groom, well, how did you meet each other? And they showed us a picture, not digital, an actual hard copy picture, even with the negative. No. And the picture was of their preschool class downstairs. And behind them was their grandparents, who are no longer with us. But Makom asher yivchar, their families chose this place. And even though they live in New York, when they came back for that sacred moment, it was here, in this place of holiness. A few weeks ago, there was a knock on my office door. On the other side was a bride of a few years ago, but she had her hands full. She had a little baby. Was about to start our parenting center, and she just wanted to show the clergy what this place meant to her, not only in time of need, but now in time of desire. And look around the sanctuary, an audience participation poll. How many of you have at least once in your life sat in Cone Chapel and either said Kaddish for a loved one or said Kaddish or supported a friend in time of mourning? You can raise your hand. A lot of us. A lot of us. We were there in times of need, but we also need to be there in times of desire. In the next few weeks, this place is bustling, not just with people, but with Jewish souls. Our young professional retreat, sold out. Our David and Angela Nazarian Youth Teen Fellowship, our Barron Scholars of our Teens Against Anti-Semitism, filled to capacity. This past week, dozens of young kids who had no camp, where did they choose to come? To our youth lounge, to have a slice of pizza, to do a social action project, and to feel Jewish. They didn't need to be here. They desired it. Last night, our Fight family welcomed Shabbat barbecue. Hundreds of people from different generations enjoying community to its fullest. I don't have enough time to explain example after example of what happens every single day, demonstrating how a need can turn into a desire, how being part of a synagogue is truly being part of a family. In the last book of the Torah, there is a transformation with the Jewish people. A shift from practicing Judaism in whatever way they wish to in the wilderness. They're known as an Erev Rav. They are a multitude of mixed people, simply going in one direction. But instead they transform not into individuals, but into a community where they will practice Judaism in a centralized location. In the wilderness, they did as they pleased. But as they went to the promised land, they became a community. As Jacob told us, the first word of the Parsha is Re'eh. It means to see, but it means one individual will see. But the second word of the Parsha, lifnechem, to see before you, is y'all. It's you all. It's in the plural. It's in the plural because as we go on our way as individuals, we can only do things in a powerful way if we act together. God created this beautiful world as simply ordinary. But when human beings were created, it was they who put the kedusha, the sanctity, the holiness into this world. We don't create holiness alone either, but we do it as a family. And when we are a family, we do not take coals out of the fire, but rather we put them in to warm our hearts and souls, to be warmed by each other's presence. I do not stand here as a prophet. I simply stand here as a rabbi. I cannot and will not tell you what will happen this afternoon, tomorrow, next week, or even in the year ahead. But only one thing that I can share with you is that no matter what will happen in the year ahead, it will be this synagogue. It will be your synagogue. It will be our family. And it will be your people that will warm each other's hearts, that will be a light into this world, and that will ultimately on day 683 and beyond, we will know that we are not alone. Thousands of years ago in our Torah this morning, God told us, Bamakom asher yivchar Adonai. Choose a place that God has shown us to find a sacred place in your life. This year, let's hold up that deal of thousands of years. That covenant at Mount Sinai thousands of years ago should be renewed today, so that all of us in the year ahead can say, Sinai is my home. Sinai is my family. And Sinai is the place that I choose to bring sacredness and holiness and love into this world and into our lives. Shabbat Shalom.